Hey everybody, this is Jordan Rudess from Dream Theater, and you are watching Ramzine. See you on the road.
Vicky here at Download Festival, and I'm with Jordan Rudess, the keyboard player of Dream Theater. How are you today?
I'm doing very well. Happy to be here.
Yeah, and do you know what? The sun has finally come out.
Oh my God, it's great.
So
I guess we brought the sun.
We did.
Yep,
and we got our sunglasses on and our wellies.
Absolutely.
Much needed.
Feeling good.
So you guys are going to be playing the Zippo Encore stage just before Slayer this afternoon.
Wow.
Are you all ready for your set?
We are so ready.
Yeah.
We've been touring around for about almost 2 weeks now.
Yep.
So we're pretty warmed up and we're excited to be here. So we're going to make our way to the stage and rock like crazy.
Good, we're really looking forward to it. So I wanted to ask, so a few years ago I spoke to James about the rise in vinyl sales.
Okay.
And he said that actually Dream Theater have always done quite well with vinyl sales. And what's been coming up in the press recently, however, I'm not sure how much I believe it, is the rise in cassette tape sales.
Wow.
And I wondered if that would ever be a route you would now consider.
Not really, although, I mean, personally, I'm not that interested in cassette, and actually I don't even have a turntable, but I think the vinyl is cool because of the packaging. Obviously, you're holding this big thing in your hands, and a lot of people really like the sound of vinyl, which I respect.
Yes.
Not something I've personally gotten into, although I have a great collection of Dream Theater vinyl and Jordan Rudess vinyl and all kinds of stuff. One day I should buy a turntable. The cassette thing, though, it has a certain sound. I definitely understand that. Matter of fact, I just found a box of old 4-tracks with some never heard before music of my own from a long time ago, and I found a machine to play it on.
Yeah.
So my head is kind of in the cassette thing. But as far as releasing Dream Theater material on cassette, I don't know. Do we really need to do that? What do you think?
Yeah, maybe not right now, although it's just interesting that some of the UK supermarkets are now selling cassette players again, which is a strange, maybe it's a gimmick. We'll see what happens in the next couple of years. But I did have a little look on eBay, and actually older versions of Dream Theater cassettes on there are going for at least £15 per tape.
So it's a thing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So,
okay.
Who knows? We'll
Everything comes around, right? It's like full circle.
Yeah. Although, I don't know, there's just something about cassette that just isn't, I don't think it's old enough yet.
When I think about cassettes, I think about the fact that they used to break and used to get all tangled up, and it's kind of like a little nasty, so not that anxious to get back into that technology.
And the sound is just not as good as vinyl, I would say.
Like hiss and stuff, and let's not do that. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a thing, you know.
Yeah. So let's talk about Dream Theater fans for a second.
Okay.
What is the best thing a fan has ever said to you?
The best thing a fan has ever said to me? You know, the Dream Theater fans are so dedicated and they're so passionate, and the music means so much to them that it's not unusual to get a comment that really, kind of affects us, when we're out on the road, every time we meet somebody. When I hear how the music just affects their life, helped them so much, helped them get out of, some kind of a really troubled zone, spot in their lives, that kind of thing really affects me. They'll say, the spirit carries on when my father died, that song just allowed me to come back and feel okay and deal with it. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. I absolutely understand the power of music, because I feel that too with a lot of music, that it just totally can lift me out of weird headspace. But when I hear that my music has done that, it makes me think, and I go, wow, that's so awesome,
That's cool, because you get to do what you love, making music, and at the same time, those songs do help people, and music's very therapeutic for many people. That's why we're all here.
Totally. And I use music myself as almost like a self-healing. I'll sit at the piano and I'll vibe out. It's great to share it, but it's also great to just play things that almost are a meditation for myself. And that's a lot of who I am musically as well.
So I was wondering, during a Dream Theater live show, how much of that is it 100% choreographed, or is there a bit of improv there as well?
The Dream Theater shows are pretty dialed in. As far as improvisation goes, I would say that I'm probably the one who would improvise the most, just because of kind of the nature of my musicality, also the nature of my role in the band, where I'm playing like chords or comping something underneath the solo. I can kind of change it up and do something different, and I get bored if I play exactly the same thing every night. So I'll try different, what they call voicing, to just bring out a part a little bit more, play something a little different on the piano, staying, in sync with the band, absolutely, but kind of doing little different things underneath to give it a little feel for the night and whatever the vibe is. I try to kind of like go there. And also, I won't play the same leads every night necessarily. Like I do something on my musical instrument app on my iPad, which is called GeoShred, and I'll play a different lead on there every night. I'll vibe it.
Nice.
And I come out sometimes with my guitar, and I'll do something different on that as well. So I like to change it up. And improvisation is really important to me, so I try to do it, although Dream Theater is a pretty solid, tight kind of presentation.
Yeah, okay, cool. And for all those downloaders out there who are mega excited to see Dream Theater tonight, what is your kind of pre-gig schedule like? Do you have one that's the same every time, or when you're at festivals is it a bit different?
We are an unusual bunch of guys. I guess we're kind of boring. I hate to tell people that, because they think we're like, with hookers and blow and like, doing the rock thing, but it's just not true. We're usually, with our instrument, we've got the metronome on and we're practicing scales or polyrhythms or, things like that are more in line with kind of who we are, and always trying to, improve our art and just make it as high a art form as possible.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what it is. But also the other thing that's really important before a show, especially a really big show like this will be, is that you have to kind of find your spiritual zone a little bit.
Yeah.
So there will be a little bit of time just kind of like stretching or breathing or trying to make it so that when the impact of the crowd hits, it's not like, oh my God, and you start freaking out and you can't play. Because you need to be able to process that energy and to be able to still, especially like in Dream Theater, which the music is very complicated, to be able to really handle it and breathe through it no matter what's happening on the outside. So it's like a spiritual lesson or something in the preparation and then in the performance.
Well, Dream Theater has obviously been going for many, many years. Do you still have times where you do have freak-out moments? Or?
You know what, when we started this run, I think the first show in Sweden was for about 70,000 people or something.
Wow.
I walked on, I wasn't exactly prepared because I hadn't done that in a long time. And when I walked out, I was like, oh my God, and it freaked me out a little bit for a little while. But then I remembered, okay, chill out, relax, breathe, and just do your thing, play. So.
Cool. All right, well, what are your plans for the rest of the year, and when are you coming back to the UK?
We are going to be coming back at some point because we want people to see our own show and do all that. I think in the winter time we'll return, and it'll be a full-on Dream Theater extravaganza, which I know a lot of people are anxious to see.
Definitely.
And so looking forward to that.
Cool. Any other plans for Dream Theater at all in terms of videos or singles or anything like that?
Yeah, well, we put out our album last February, Distance Over Time, and put a lot of energy into it, and now we're kind of like riding on it, if you will, and we've got a really busy touring schedule. We're out here for 7 weeks, and then we'll take a little break, and then we'll do a little bit more North America, and maybe go to South America and Europe, so it's a full schedule of activity, and that's what's kind of on the agenda right now. And when all that gets to a good point, then I'll look at going out and doing some more solo stuff, because I put out a solo album called Wired for Madness recently as well, which will need some support.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for speaking to us, and we're wishing you an amazing set tonight on the Zippo Encore stage.